All right, I am now joined by a very, 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 very special recurring guest, friend of the show. It is Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Paul Gervase. Second time on the pod. Had him on in April, but man, a few things have happened since then. Excited to catch up. Paul, how are we doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Yeah, it's had you on in April. I was just like, man, this is so cool. You're in the Rays system. We talked all about the
Yeah.
Rays ball. You were in Durham. Got to visit you at the yard. Went to a
Yeah, that was
Bulls
cool.
game, which was insane. Thank you for that, by the way.
For sure.
But yeah, I definitely. So I wanted to start with like this off season and just like, have you had a chance to like we talked about, like so many things have happened to you this year. Have you had a chance to like reflect, kind of sit back and just go, wow, a lot is going on.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, dude. And everything happens for a reason too. I'm blessed, dude. What a year it was. I got to play in the major leagues for two really good teams. I got to move again across the country for the second year in a row, and then I got to play a very small part in a World Series championship team. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I've gotten to sit back and reflect on just how blessed I am, man. God's really blessed me, and I look forward to having another good year next year.
I said this before we started recording, but just like obviously you're pitched a couple innings for the Dodgers this year, and then obviously they go on to win the World Series. But like so you get a World Series ring out of that, right? Because you technically you are a Dodger.
Yeah, I mean, I was told that I do, so can't wait. That'll be sick. I was told
Um,
that I get one.
yeah, and obviously like the goal is to like be a part of like on like the roster, and we'll talk all
Yeah.
about just like that and just like the situation you were in and watching the team and the alt site and stuff. But
Mhm.
I had a question because like we mentioned like Durham, the Rays, LA, their AAA team, like is it hard not being in the same spot for very long?
Uh, I wouldn't say it's hard, dude. I'm pretty used to it. It's good going back to college my freshman year. I've been on seven teams in the last 8 years, so I move around a lot. I'm pretty much used to it. So I wouldn't say it's hard. I would say it's a blessing because everywhere I go is God's directing me there.
Yeah, I just feel like logistically, like well, you might obviously it sounds like you're pretty used to it then, just like the
Yeah.
idea of like, I can't really pack more than this one suitcase probably.
No, literally. That's exactly right. I've lived out of the suitcase the last 4 months, 3 months of the year, and man, dude, yeah, I've just been all over the place, dog. I'm used to it at this point.
Yeah. Um, so I read that and I was doing some research for this, but like you had talked about just like the first few years of your minor league career, like you were super aware of like your status on the team, your standing, like, the eagerness to want to move up and get promoted.
Yeah.
Did you keep that same mindset like starting this year in Durham, like getting so close to the major league starting 2025?
I don't. I think I had a lot better perspective on it. I think back a couple of years ago when I was with the Mets, I was pretty immature with how I processed wanting to get up. I saw it as like checking a box, like, oh, I moved up. But to me, it doesn't matter how quickly you move up. If you're not ready for the major leagues, then you're not going to ever get there. So it doesn't matter if you're developing in high A or triple A. If you show that you're major league ready, they'll get you to major leagues whenever you're ready. So when I got there, I just focused on my plan, dude, which was throw strikes, get ahead, don't walk guys, and put them away. And thankfully, I was able to do that outside of the month of April and September. But this year, it was a pretty good year overall. And once I got to Durham, I was blessed to play at home. And once I started throwing strikes and punching guys out and not giving up a ton of hits, I was like, all right, well, God will take care of this. And thankfully, He did.
AAA ball is just like it's so interesting because of the mix of like the guys on the roster. It's like top prospects, veterans who are trying to get back in the show, maybe some guys who are just like they're cool with where they're at right now. But like before your debut and you felt like you were getting close to getting this called, like did you like lean on any of those guys around you that had big league experience?
Yeah, I would say I did. Guys like Cole Sulser, guys like Jacob Wagasback, guys that had been in the major leagues, and even as recently as last year and this year, they would. I didn't. I mean, I wasn't a guy that like complained about not being in the big leagues. Like, obviously, everybody wants to be there, but they were just like they would always tell the guys that had made it. There's like, guys, you're here for a reason. You're like in your 20s. You're already in AAA. Like, it's only a matter of time. Just control what you can control. Take care of your process, and everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah. When I was in Durham, I was did you play with Kyle Gibson?
Yeah, yeah, for a couple weeks. He's awesome, dude. He came in, he led a Bible study for 3 weeks, and then he dipped. It was wild. It was wild.
I asked because like obviously being like a Maryland DC Orioles guy, it's like
Yeah,
I have heard nothing but like rave reviews
he's
about
the
like his
man.
presence in the clubhouse. Obviously, you're talking about like him being the man. Like, how cool is that having somebody with like decades, I feel like, of experience in pro ball to like were guys going up and talking to him about that? Was he super open? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, he was really open, dude, and it was just such a blessing for a lot of us that have like, I mean, we've been around like guys in spring training that are big leaguers, but you don't when you're in the minor leagues, you don't really rarely you play with a guy with 11 years in the big leagues. So he was just open, and he said, "You guys, you come ask me anything." He would run around the locker room with all. I think he has 4 kids. They'd always run around the locker room. He was awesome, man. He was always there to like lend a hand or give you advice, or if you had a question about something, he was always great.
Yeah, last time you were on, you talked about you played with Ottavino, right, with the Mets. Was that similar
I
kind of
didn't
thing?
play with him. I got to back up in spring training and kind of just like listen to him and watch him like go about his process and like watch what he did, ask him a couple of questions. He was really cool. He's especially for I wasn't there to play. I was there in case somebody threw too many pitches. So he was awesome.
Is it a hard balance to like try not to be too eager and not talk somebody's ear off? Because I feel like I would just would talk some, I would be so fascinated, so like so freaked out, like, oh my God, that's this guy's been there forever. But like, is it hard trying to like, temper some of that and just be like, it's cool. He's here. I'm here.
Yeah, I think you can kind of look at it as like maybe like when you go back home and you work out and like the college kids, like those guys are probably really eager to talk to you and like hear about, oh wow, you're in the big leagues. Like that's probably the gap between me and Kyle Gibson. So I just kind of like I think it just goes back to treat people how you want to be treated. You want someone talking your ear off, or no? You can't teach feel, is what I've always been told. So you got to just ask him questions in a respectful way, but also give him some space. He's
Yeah.
probably not happy to be in AAA. So
He shoved too. What do you have, like a
yeah,
point
he
five
did.
ERA?
He was great. He was awesome. I mean, he's obviously a great pitcher, but you have 11 years in the big league, you're probably not trying to spend too much time in AAA, especially with 4 kids.
Yeah, exactly. I remember him being there. I'm like, that's so cool. I wish
Yeah,
he would have gotten a call back up to like a big league team at some point last year, but
yeah,
hung
cool.
it up, I guess. Yeah. Um, so we're talking about your time in Durham, but like, what was the lead up to like your MLB debut in June like?
It was wild. We were in Omaha. Um, I had just gone and seen my college team play on our off day when we were up there, so that was cool. And so I threw on a Wednesday. No, I threw Thursday. Right, threw an inning, was fine. Next day I was off because we weren't throwing back to backs at that point. And Thursday, so I did my lift. I was chilling after the game. I go back to the hotel, go up to my room, and then my manager calls me and says, "Hey, can you come meet me in the lobby? I need to talk to you about something." I'm like, "Come on, come on, come on, come on!" And he's just like, "Hey, man, you good to get on a flight around 5 a.m. and go pitch in the big leagues?" I was like, "Yep, yep, I'm good with that. Sounds good." So it was awesome. Him, my pitching coach, my bullpen coach were all down there, and they all congratulated me. It was really cool. And then I didn't sleep. My Uber to the airport was at 3 a.m. So I Ubered to the airport. My flight, I flew from Omaha to Atlanta and then Atlanta to Tampa, and I got to the game in the second inning, and I threw the sixth and the seventh. So I didn't have too much time to think about it. Just get in there, throw the ball over the plate, and good things happen.
You showed up like during the game.
Yeah, second inning. It was
So
a
wait,
noon game.
yeah, yeah, the Steinbrenner, the noon trying to beat the Heat games.
Yes.
So wait, how did you prepare? Like, did the catcher know what you threw? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Danny was catching me. He was awesome. He met me on the mound. He's like, "Hey, man, just throw everything right to me. You belong here. Let's go." And I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." And then, but yeah, I mean, they briefed him on the scouting report, I would imagine. It's not that difficult. I only throw 3 pitches. So,
and a forkball.
yeah. Yeah. And I'm working on a splitter this offseason. That's the plan. Hopefully, throw
Nice.
that next year. There's too many guys throwing those. I got to keep up.
Yeah, or kick change.
Yeah. Yeah. We could do that too.
Could
I'm
get
going
weird
for
with
the,
it.
it's kind of like a hybrid. I don't have a baseball, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm working on it.
Yeah. So have you always been somebody that's like you're easily adaptable? Like you're the ability to get thrown into the fire like that. Is that something that's like kind of easy to you, or you just like how did you handle that?
Yeah, you're talking about my debut, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to complain about when you get to do something you've been dreamed of doing since you were 5. Like, I wasn't gonna be like, darn, why are you guys making me pitch in the big leagues today? Like, it was, I was so fired up, dude. I would have thrown on the moon if they asked me to throw there. Yeah, I would say I'm pretty easy adaptable, but that is about the easiest thing to adapt to in the world is pitching in the major leagues. So that was so much fun, dude. That was the best day of my life for sure.
Did you get your first strikeout ball back?
I did. It's on my dad's dresser right now. I got my first strikeout and my first pitch. Both of them are up there. So
So
yeah,
cool.
it's pretty cool.
Made the debut against the Detroit Tigers. Did I see that you were also? Did you grow up a Tigers fan?
Yeah, I did. I grew up a Tigers fan. My dad's from Detroit originally, so I was a big Tigers fan growing up. Obviously, not a big Tigers fan anymore. But yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Who were some of like the guys when you were growing up that you were like
Oh,
Justin Verlander?
Verlander,
Yeah,
Miggy, Maglio Ordonez. I had his jersey. Austin Jackson. All those guys. They're all superstars.
that's so cool. Also,
Yeah.
yeah, that's just crazy how that worked out. That was your first big league game was pitching against Detroit.
Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool.
So did you have like obviously on the day a lot of chaos, a lot of like short time frame, but like afterwards and getting acclimated and stuff. But like, did you get a chance to like get comfortable in your your home down there in Tampa?
Yeah, I mean, I was in the hotel while I was there, but because we
Yeah.
played so many away games, I was not about to like invest in a place, and especially with my tendency to get traded. Um, yeah, so I mean, I went back to the hotel after I went to eat with my family and my girlfriend's parents, and then I went to the hotel. I was gonna watch the College World Series Finals first game, and I fell asleep in the first inning and slept from like 7 until 8 a.m. the next day. I was so tired.
That's a well deserved early bedtime though.
Yeah, yeah, I was exhausted, dude. I was like, all right, I gotta get out of here. I'm going to sleep. Good luck, guys. And then they won, so it was awesome.
How different are like the scouting reports in the minor leagues versus when you got to the major leagues? Like, what's that process like between the two?
Um, I would say they're different, but I would just say there's more of them in the major leagues because the minor leagues you have 6 games and you don't play that many different teams. So a lot of the times you're facing the same guys, so it's not as much. But obviously in the big leagues you can face. I think we face every team during the season now. So you gotta every 3 days you're going over a new team. So I would say it's probably a little more detailed, but it's also there's just more of them.
Yeah, that 6 games like schedule, especially in like AAA. So like
I love it.
obviously there's less travel involved, which is probably
Yeah,
good. But like, does it get
yeah, that,
old
that's
down
fun.
there facing the same teams all the time?
Uh, yeah. I mean, obviously you want to face different teams, but I wouldn't trade it. Traveling every 3 days to all over the place would not be ideal. It's a lot easier when you're just you know where you're at for the week and then you go home. You go somewhere else and then you go home. So
When you're out there on the mound, though, like how much thinking would you like to have be involved, or are you just like rolling with whatever the catcher puts down?
95% of the time I'm rolling with whatever the catcher puts down, unless it's like I think I faced a couple guys in the big leagues, maybe like two that I had previously faced in the minor leagues, and maybe I knew something about. But most of the time, I was just like, all right, sounds good. Whatever you want, let's do it. Because I mean, they go over a plan too, so
Yeah.
uh, they're usually have a pretty good idea of what they're doing.
I always find that so fascinating. Like, I'm buddies with like Matt Strawman. He's just like, I don't want to think out there at all. Like,
No, yeah, bobblehead.
like the less you can think out there, the better.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I agree.
Um, when you like, I mean, I've looked at some of like the game logs and stuff from the games, and I watched some of them when you pitched in Tampa. It's just like you face some
Mhm.
heavy hitters, some like pretty good lineups. I feel like the first couple games you were
Yeah,
tossed out in there. Like, what did you take away from like facing those guys in your time in Tampa?
just my stuff plays, dude. I think the way I approached my first stint of 2 weeks in the big leagues was I think I was like trying too hard to stay instead of just going balls to the wall and just going after guys. It's like I'm good enough to be here, and maybe I was a little bit tight, and I have always had pretty elite confidence, and I don't think I approached it with that elite confidence. And I think that's an adjustment I'll definitely have going into next year is knowing that I'm good enough. The Dodgers don't trade for scrubs. I'm good enough to pitch in the major leagues, whether it's with the Dodgers or anybody else. Hopefully with the Dodgers. But I am, yeah, I don't know. I'm confident.
I just like the idea of like you're just like internally like I have a propensity to be traded, just like back to back Julys. Like your scouting reports, like great guy, great stuff. Gets traded a little too much though.
Yeah, maybe I'm a bad teammate and I don't know about it. I asked my one of the people with the Rays, I was like, dude, like was like I a bad teammate? And like, no, dude, you should get traded a lot. I'm like, all right, I'm taking no, the Dodgers, I love the
Yeah.
Dodgers though. I am hopefully I do not get traded because I love the Dodgers and I want to win the World Series and play in the playoffs every year because that is sick.
Also, it's just like not fun like having July being like on edge. Like, oh no, it's gonna happen again.
Yeah, I wasn't even on edge. I was just like sick. I just got recalled. I'm at Yankee Stadium. Like, this is cool. Oh, Littell got traded. That sucks. All right, we're going back to the hotel, and then I get called on the bus. Hey, you got traded, and Taylor Walls is looking at me. What's going on? And I'm like, yep, sorry guys, just got here to this morning. I'll see you guys on Friday when I'm playing for the Dodgers in Tampa.
It's a
So
good
that was
Taylor
kind
Walls
of fun.
impression.
Yeah, Taylor Walls is awesome, but yeah,
That's yeah. I had one last race question though, because like you mentioned, like the couple weeks, obviously you weren't there for very long in the bullpen, but just like vibes as like a bullpen unit down there. And I just had a question specifically about Pete. I've heard that like he's an insanely good like leader, like always walking around talking to guys. Was that the case when you were down there?
yeah, Pete was awesome, dude. When I got called up, he they were like, "You got all your stuff? Like, is there anything you need?" And I was like, "Well, I got royal blue cleats. That's pretty much it." And Pete let me wear his cleats for like my first two outings in the big leagues, and because I didn't have any navy or white ones, so that was really cool of him. I really appreciate that. And yeah, he was a great leader down there. He would always hype us up when we're warming up going to the game. He was always like, "Hey, if you guys have any questions," like 'cause we had a lot of young guys like, down there, like me, Montgomery, Joe Rock, Engler, Kevin Kelly, like, and I mean, we had some vets too, but like he was always open to helping us.
I like that. He's a shirt off his back guy. He's a cleats off his feet guy.
Exactly, he was awesome.
That's the best. Yeah, I'm hoping he lands somewhere awesome this winter. It's just like it's a shame he's not going to be with Tampa anymore, but like
Yeah,
the opportunity to hit the free agency in this kind of market, I feel like it's just going to be so cool.
yeah, it'll be really good. I'm sure he'll swing a great deal. I mean, he's an all-star caliber pitcher.
Yeah. Um, the cutter is that something that you learned in Tampa, or is that something you started throwing more when you were in LA?
No, the Mets. I started throwing it when I was with the Mets. I didn't start throwing it a lot until I got to Tampa, but I did develop it with the Mets. One of my teammates, Blade Tidwell, taught it to me, and I started throwing it, and it was always just like a really easy strike pitch for me. So yeah, it worked.
Is that so? Is it technically a cutter, or is it like a bullet slider? Because I feel like I've
No,
seen like
cutter.
the two get blurred between.
It's a cutter. It's
Okay.
like it carries it like 10 or 11 or 9 usually. It doesn't really go down at all.
Okay. Well, that's good because I feel like sometimes on this podcast I'll like mislabel pit. I call Beats splitter change up a splitter. He didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, I saw that clip. That was
It's my
hilarious.
favorite clip. It's like
That was
fucking
so
throw
that
it.
was funny. No, that was yeah, he doesn't really ever throw it, but yeah, it's a changeup.
Is that so like when you get to an organization and they're like going over stuff with you, like are some where like when you get to Tampa and you're like, okay, I have this cutter. Did they work with you to like refine it? Or maybe even you get to when you get to LA, are they like adding stuff to what you already kind of throw?
I think the Rays' main thing when they acquired me was, hey, let's get you in the strike zone more. Because while I was punching guys out with the Mets, I wasn't in the strike zone enough. So that was their big thing with me, and it worked. And then when I got to the Dodgers, it was just, all right, well, you're in the zone now. Let's elevate your stuff and let's combine what I've learned from both of these organizations. And the Dodgers have been great. I have my AAA pitching coach lives 30 minutes from here in Raleigh, so I work out with him a lot, and they've been really helpful and hands on with it. So I appreciate it, even though my last month of the season was abysmal.
I don't know
Sports.
if I don't know if I asked you about this last time, but just like when pitchers like when the walk rate is a little bit higher than you'd like it to be, like what are some things that like organizations can work with guys like that on to try to get you back into the strike zone?
A lot of what I think, a lot of throwing strikes to me is mental. I don't think it's like, I don't think people are physically incapable of throwing strikes because we all threw strikes when we were 12 and 13 and Cal Ripken tournaments and all that stuff. Like, it's not like we're incapable of throwing strikes. I think a lot of people try too hard to throw strikes. And I think a lot of people try to overcompensate a little bit, like try too hard, you know? And so I think if you're mentally like, I think it comes down to confidence. If I believe I'm the best pitcher in the world, I can throw strikes. But I think a big cue, like visual cue, is I just like to put the catcher in the middle and then let myself play.
Did you have that when you got to LA and work with those organization catchers? Did you do the same thing, like have them set up middle?
Yeah, well, it was clutch because I came over with Rortvet, so he was able to like tell them for me. And they were like, "Do you like to be in the middle?" I was like, "Wait, you guys already know this?" And they're like, "Yeah, Ben got here the day before you." And I was like, "Oh yeah." So it was clutch. Ben, he's awesome. He's a hero. Post Dodgers playoff hero. That's what I'm going with.
Who has bigger biceps though, you or him?
Him by a lot. His biceps are bigger than my head.
Benny biceps. That's like my favorite
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. That's so cool that you get there and they already kind of have an idea of like what you like.
yeah, for sure. The Dodgers do their research, man. That's for sure.
So how are you traditionally against left-handed hitters? And was like adding the cutter a part of like trying to get better at that?
Yeah. I mean, my numbers say that I'm better against righties. My splits were a little more drastic this year. I have full confidence that I can get left-handers out. And then once I started throwing my cutter more, it helped a lot. That's another reason why I'm trying to add a splitter this offseason. Um, yeah, so I think I'm fine against lefties. My fastball plays good. My slider, I think I hung my slider a little too much. That was when I would get beat usually. But all my other pitches play pretty well against lefties.
How big of a thing is that for pitchers is just like trying to work on facing the opposite sided hitters? Like, and have you seen guys that are just like reverse splits guys?
Yeah, I have, but I think it's only really a thing if you make it a thing. So if you think in your mind, oh wow, I'm struggling against lefties, then in my mind, you're already beat. You got to attack both hitters the same way, and if there's that's where coaching comes in. Like if they see something that they think they can help you with, then yeah, then you make adjustments and stuff like that. But if you go into it like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get lefties out? Then you're in trouble.
Wow. So walk rate, other sided hitters, like so a lot of the pitching is upstairs.
I think most of it is upstairs, dude. I really do. I got a lot better when I started thinking positively.
Who are some of the coaches that kind of helped you unlock some of the upstairs stuff?
Um, well, my pitching coach at LSU was really helpful with that. Jason Kelly, he would always just tell me like, because I still kind of had that like JUCO Division III mindset when I got there, like not sure if I belonged to LSU. And he was like, "Hey, dude, we don't recruit scrubs, so let's know how good you are and just go after guys." And like my coach at JUCO was really helpful with that. And then honestly, my dad, my whole life, he always tells me to like speak life over myself. Like it doesn't matter if you're losing a video game, you don't say you suck. You don't say, "Oh, I'm terrible." You don't say, "I can't." Like you always speak positively over yourself. That helps build up your confidence, and that's still helped me to this day.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about just like the mindset vibes that you put out into the world. Yeah, you
Yeah.
being negative. Also, just like it's a bummer to be negative all the time, just like in
Yeah,
general.
really. Like those guys, nobody wants to be around those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So your best friends on earth, like those aren't the ones that are just like, oh, woe is me. That's not
Exactly.
fun.
Exactly.
So we talked a little bit about when you got traded to the Dodgers organization. When you got called up though to make your appearance, how did that kind of go? Was that a little less chaotic than when you got called up to Tampa in June?
Yeah. I mean, so when I got traded the first time, I was with the Dodgers for a day. Like, well, I got the off day technically, and then I met them in Tampa on Friday. And so I got to be around everybody and see and meet the coaching staff and all that stuff. And then obviously, when Blake Snell's ready, you activate him and you option the guy on the bottom of the total poll. So that was me. I got sent to Oklahoma City. Makes sense. Blake Snell's pretty good. So when I got recalled in Colorado, I knew Kirby Yates and Tanner Scott were on rehab assignments in Oklahoma City like the same day that I was thrown in Colorado. I was like, all right, so this might be pretty short, but just go out there and attack guys. And then I walked the first guy, so that was not good. But the whole mentality for me was the same thing. Just go out there, attack guys. These guys, the Dodgers wanted you. They think you're good enough. You are good enough. Go ball out. And I mean, I threw the ball pretty well. I have some pitches I would have liked to change, obviously, but um, no, it was a lot easier than my first outing in the major leagues for sure.
Also, it was in Denver, right? So like that's just a
Yeah.
whole nother thing.
Oh, you can't even think about that. Can't think about that. You can't even let that stuff like get to you.
What was it like though pitching at altitude? Have you like does a AAA team that you were at with before that, do they play at similar ish altitudes or is that just like whoa, where am
We
I
played in
wrong?
El Paso. El Paso was a higher altitude, but I mean it wasn't as high as Coors. But I just thought the biggest difference was my mouth would get really dry. when I was pitching. Yeah, pause. But yeah,
You're like,
it
am I
was
really
like
nervous right now? It's
I
like,
would
oh no,
drink
we're a
a ton
mile
of
up.
I just drank a ton of water in the dugout, stuff like that. So you gotta, I don't know. That was what I thought the biggest difference was.
Did your pitches move weird?
Metrically, maybe. I don't really look at that stuff after my outings. If I pitch good, I'm like, sweet. If I don't pitch good, all right. If my pitching coach says, hey, this is way off, then I'll look at it. But my stuff's usually the same. So I mean, I'm sure it was. They say it affects it, but
If you pitch like multiple innings and you're like in the dugout in between, are you like on the iPad or what do you do in between
no.
innings?
I just kind of chill and watch us hit and talk to the pitching coach about the hitters that are due up the next inning, and then that's pretty much it.
Interesting. So you that game you came in LA when you're in course, like I think Otani started that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like watching him work?
But I mean, it's crazy. I mean, he's the best player in the world. So it was just, I mean, it's really cool to watch him play and watch how he goes about his business with hitting and pitching and how hard he works. Yeah, it's really cool.
It's just I think I watched some of the highlights from that game. I think he had a double and then he just threw 5 innings. It's just like
I believe
pretty
it.
pretty casual game for Otani.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
when you walk into a clubhouse filled with as many superstars as there is in LA, like that has to be like the coolest thing ever.
yeah. It's cool. It's cool, but I mean, they're just regular guys,
They're just
just like
guys.
everybody
Yeah.
else. They're cool guys. They say, hey, if you need anything, let me know. And I think if you are like make it a big thing, then those guys will probably eat you alive and mess with you a lot. So you just treat it like everybody else.
I like that. Did you talk to Tyler Glass now?
I did. Yeah. Glass is a cool guy. We were talking about back pain and two tall guys that kind of get it. And yeah, he's cool. He asked me a little bit about Tampa and how he liked it and what I liked. And so, yeah, he was a cool guy.
Swapping back. Wait, how big of a thing is back pain for 6'10", 6'9" guys?
It's pretty common. My brother, me, my dad, Glass now. Oh, even Kershaw said he was dealing with it a little bit. So, yeah, it's pretty common.
Wow. That's that whole experience of being in like so you're sitting in the bullpen that game, you're walking around the clubhouse like did you like get any kind of interesting like tidbits or like talk ball with anybody? Like I feel like the LA organization, you could probably just go up to anybody. There's 10 plus years I feel like everybody has.
I mean, yeah, I talked to Vestia and Trinan a lot just because like they were the guys in the bullpen. Like I'm not like gonna go. I don't know what any of these guys like prep is before the game. Like I've been there for a day, so I was just like, don't really step on toes, don't get in the way. Talk to the guys who are on the same kind of plan as you every day, and if one of them talks to you, great. But like, let's not go in and try to talk to everybody in my first day and try to make it about me.
One thing I wrote down because I'm a big like watching games, like putting notes in my notes app when I'm watching, especially the World Series because they had so many
Mhm.
cool like nuggets. Glass now apparently like if he knows a guy is going to be like jumping on the first pitch, he'll like drop a first pitch curve in there, kind of throw him
Mhm.
off. What did you kind of notice about like the way big leaguers approach the first pitch of an at bat versus the minor leagues, and did you do anything differently thinking that way?
I think it's all about scouting reports. So when you get your scouting reports, you know what percentage of the time he swings at each pitch in certain counts. So if his OO swing percentage against breaking balls is 5%, then yeah, I'm going to flip the breaking ball in and get ahead. If he's hyper aggressive, maybe I'll go strike the ball, kind of treat it like it's two strike count. There are a lot of guys in the Rockies who are really aggressive first pitch. So sometimes you go strike the ball in the first pitch. And then if there are guys who have pretty even splits, then you just go at them with your best stuff. That's the way I think about it. But then usually, like Will Smith probably has faced the Colorado Rockies over 100 times, so he probably knows a little bit more about them than me. So I'm probably just going to go with whatever he says.
I feel like first pitch, like every year, the first pitch like swing percentage for guys just goes up and up and up because it's like, well, it's the best
Yeah,
pitcher going to get in that bat. So it's like,
yeah.
as a
A lot
pitcher,
of the
that has
time
to
it
be such
is.
like a mind thing. It's like, whoa, they're going to be swinging at everything.
It will be for me. That'll be the best pitcher. That is, I'm trying to throw that one down the middle pretty much every time, unless I get told something different.
When you think back to some of like those like battles that you had against guys at the big league level this year, do any of them stand out? Was there any good chess matches?
Chess matches. Um, I faced Bobby Witt in Kansas City in the ninth inning. I gave a leadoff single. I think it was like 4-0. We were winning, and then I went 2-0 on Bobby Witt, and pitching coach comes out. He's like, "Hey, dude, like." we're not throwing him a fastball here. So you're going to need to, can you land your breaking ball here? Or do we need to go with a cutter or something like that? He's like, I can land a breaking ball, and threw a slider, and he hit it like 390 to center field and flew out. So that was pretty electric. So, but like not a ton of, I mean, dude, I threw 8 innings. So there wasn't really that much chess match. Most of them were low leverage. So
I always like
yeah.
when guys talk about just like when dudes are up there fouling a million things off. It's my favorite. It's just when the pitchers. I feel like you guys hate nothing more than just like five foul balls in a row.
Yeah, that part's pretty frustrating. You're like, why am I not getting it by this guy?
At that point, it's just like, come on, man, what are we doing?
Exactly. Exactly.
Have you seen like or even had at bats that feel like they have gone like 9, 10, 11?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember them, but I'm sure I have. I don't specifically remember any really long ones that I know of. No,
Have you ever been? Did you start as a starter or have you always been a reliever?
I've been a reliever since my freshman year of college.
What's the reliever's relationship like with a solo home run? I talked to a lot of like starting pitchers, and it's really interesting because it's like as a starter, if you're going 5 or 6, it's like a solo home run is like okay, don't want to
Yeah,
do that a lot, but it's not that big of a deal. But as a reliever, how do you kind of view those?
I mean, depends on the score usually. So like if we're up a bunch and I'm just trying to pound strike and get ahead, and I give up a solo homer, like that's life. But I mean, if it's 4-3 in the ninth inning, I'm generally pretty pissed off if I give up a solo home run if it's a close game. But yeah, I mean, it's probably a lot different than starters.
Right. Because like your margin of error is like, or even like high leverage stuff, it's like also as a reliever, it's just like the ERA. Do you like look at your ERA in the season? Because like a solo home run could inflate that.
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. I care about my ERA. My teammates will tell you that. I care about it just from a like. I mean, I don't want to have a bad ERA. Like, who doesn't? If people who say they don't care about their ERA are either making a lot of money on guaranteed contracts or they're liars. I care just because generally I don't like giving up runs. So I don't think ERA is the end all be all, but I mean, I like to have a good ERA just like anybody else. I also like to have a high strikeout rate and a low walk rate. Like I don't think you should focus on your stats, but I think you should care about them. You know what I'm saying? Like you should care how you're doing, but you shouldn't like it's not the end all be all. Like sometimes you give up an 88-mile-an-hour homer and your ERA goes up. Like there's nothing you can do about that. And then sometimes you give up a 105-mile-an-hour line drive that goes right to Chandler Simpson, and that's electric. So there you go. Can't put too much stock in it, but I mean, I like to know what it is.
Are there other things that you look at that like for your metrics and stats and stuff that you think are a better representation of how you're doing than ERA?
My favorite stat for me myself is strikeout percentage minus walk percentage. So what percent of guys am I striking out? What percent of guys am I walking? That minus that is usually to the effect of how dominant I'm going to be. So that's what I like to look at.
I've heard that. Yeah, like K minus walk. I feel like that's a good way to like kind of like determine how well organizations are doing at like developing their pitching. It's like the ones that have a good K minus walk.
Yeah, most of the time that's going to lead to success. If you don't walk guys and you miss bats, you're usually going to have success.
Yeah. I said a couple last things for you, by the way. This is incredible. I've been looking forward to catching up with you all year, man.
For
It's been
sure.
so much fun. So you were two of my most like viral videos this year on
Oh,
TikTok and
really?
Instagram. They perform equally on both. So I think people really like connected with one, the LSU, the email story.
Oh, yeah.
Did you think that like your email, like when it was like put out as a clip, would be like as big of a thing? Because like I'm still getting people being like just hitting my lineup about that.
I mean, I didn't really know you were going to post a clip of it. Like, obviously, I don't care, but I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. Like, I just saw it that you tagged me. But I mean, no, I didn't think. I figure a lot of guys probably send out emails to colleges and try to get recruited. But I mean, yeah, it was cool. Like, I don't like get too entrenched in social media stuff, but like, I mean, it
Yeah.
was cool that a lot of people thought it was cool. But no, I didn't think it was going to go viral.
I think like the prevailing like theme in the comments was just like, and maybe you could talk about this. It's just like, how does anybody not respond to an email where a kid says he is 6'10" and throws 97? But you said you sent 200 and you only got 16 back.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't see it, if I'm being honest. I sent a lot of them in Twitter DMs. You probably get like 100 a day if you're LSU or Alabama or like all these big schools, I mean, they probably don't see them. I don't think people are actively ignoring those messages. Like I trained at NC State a few days ago. This is down the road, and I met NC State's coach for the first time, and he obviously was one of the people I reached out to, and obviously he never read it because he didn't even know who I was, and he was like, "Oh, well, like, how did we not recruit you?" Like, no, no. I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like,
I was right here.
I was right down the road. Obviously, glad I went to LSU, but yeah, it's. I think the main thing is a lot of them don't see it. I don't think that the people are actively ignoring people that are my height that throw really hard. So I would guess most people don't see it.
Yeah, it's just like, would you have any advice for people that are in that kind of like phase in their college career where they're trying to reach out to guys? It's just like, is there something that like helped you in that process?
Just persistence, dude. Like, just because people don't respond doesn't mean you're slept on or getting ignored. I mean, people probably just aren't seeing it. So, like, you got to try to get out to as many people as possible. And then you just prayer, man, put it in God's hands. He's going to take care of it, man. At the end of the day, he's got our best interest at heart. And I was supposed to go to LSU. I wasn't supposed to go to NC State or Carolina or East Carolina or any of the schools around here. Like, that was where I was supposed to be. So I would say just keep trusting God and keep working hard.
So like even this is kind of like in the job pool where I'm like sending applications, it'll be like I'll get a response like 2 years later. Did one school ever hit you back just like really super like comically late? Like, oh shit, just seeing
Yeah,
this.
when my brother was in junior college, he got recruited by VCU, and their pitching coach was at Murray State, which is one of the schools that I reached out to, like one of the hundreds of schools that I reached out to. And when he was recruiting my brother, he was like, "I just found a Twitter DM from your brother. Wow, I messed up on that one." I was like, "Yeah, well, I wasn't supposed to go to Murray State, thankfully, but he recruited my brother. Obviously, my brother didn't end up going there, but it's cool."
I always just think it'd be funny if just like Vanderbilt was just like 3 years later, like you're just like right now. It's just like, oh, just seeing this. You still around for a phone call?
Exactly. No, I haven't gotten any of that.
um, this is way chronically out of order, but I forgot to ask this. When the differences between LA and Tampa in terms of like pitching, you touched on some of this stuff, but like, were anything like similar in the way they approach the ways they approach pitching?
They both are just like go after guys with your best stuff. Try to punch guys out. Try to be nasty. That is what I think. I think the Rays, the Mets, and the Dodgers. You could say they're probably three of the best pitching organizations in baseball, and I'm lucky that I've gotten to take things from all three organizations. But I mean, the general consensus is like you don't get drafted because you suck. Like you're good enough. Go after guys, pitch with confidence, and I think that's something I've definitely gotten from the Mets as well, from all three organizations.
Yeah, that's right. I think last time we talked a little bit about just like the Mets, but you're right. Like being in three of the top like pitching organizations in baseball. It's
Yeah,
so cool.
it is cool.
Um, if you could like travel back in time and talk to when you were in D3 ball and grinding away, and if you could have told D3 Paul that you would eventually pitch for the Dodgers and be a small part of a World Series championship winning team, would he have believed you?
No, no way, no way, dude. I wasn't the most intelligent 19-year-old in the world. I'm 25, but it sounds like I'm old. But no,
We have
I'm
back pain
blessed
now,
that I
so
had
yeah.
a lot of spiritual leaders in my life that have picked me up. So I appreciate that.
That's
It's
so.
great.
We'll end with this. Your time in the was it the alternate training site? Was that where
Yeah,
you were watching
spring
the
training
playoffs?
complex, but yeah, pretty
Training
much.
complex. Was there ever a point where it got close? Did we think we were going to get the call to be on? It doesn't have to be like a game thing, but like added to the roster.
Uh, I mean that's tough. I know you can't do it in the middle of a series. I didn't pitch good the last month of the season, and me not being on the roster was Paul Gervase's fault, nobody else's. So I wouldn't say I didn't expect to, but I didn't think I was going to be first in line just because I didn't throw the ball well enough. I pitched really good in Stay Hot camp, which that doesn't really count. I fixed the issues from September, but um, I was ready. But no, I didn't. I didn't think I was going to.
Going into next year though, so like you mentioned the last like a little bit of last year didn't really go your way. Like what are you working on? What are some of the goals and just like where are you at kind of headspace wise?
I want to dominate from start to finish. That is my goal. And the call up stuff and the making the roster stuff is out of my control. I can control my performance between the lines. So my goal is to have a good April through a good September. And if I pitch good for 6 months, then everything else will take care of itself. So I want to get off to a good start and finish strong and hopefully contribute to another World Series.
Love that. It's an exciting time, man. Yeah, it's a bit
Yeah.
it's, this whole year. I feel like you touched on some of this. It was just like a lot's happened. So I think it'll be cool to be in one spot, and then hey, in July, stability. I think that's kind of the name
Stay
of the
with the
game.
Dodgers and win the World Series.
Exactly, three-peat.
Yeah. That would be great.
Dude, this has been incredible. Thank you so much for, as always, you've been so kind to the pod this year.
Of
So I want
course.
first
Of
want to say
course.
thank you for that. Thank you for your time, and we're all Paul Gervase fans. So I
I
really
appreciate
we're
it.
rooting for you.
I appreciate guys that also work hard, and it's very clear that you take your craft seriously. So